I once said that racism is a white person problem, and I stand by that. It is a white person problem, but it's also a heart problem, a rotten, evil heart problem. And let's be honest about where that was engineered. In America, as a racial hierarchy was built by white men in power, and they wrote it into law. In 1662, colonial lawmakers decided that if your mother was enslaved, you were enslaved for life. That guaranteed generational bondage. In 1705, slave codes legally defined enslaved people as property. Not people, but property. And in 1790, the United States limited citizenship to free white persons. So whiteness was written into belonging. And these weren't opinions, they were state decisions. And then it expanded. The Indian Removal Act forced displacement of indigenous nations, redlining, federally backed housing discrimination. Segregation laws was separating humans by race. Sentencing disparities, different punishment for the same crime, depending on the color of your skin. These were white-led institutions creating racial order. But laws don't operate themselves, and every law needs people willing to enforce it. Judges, police, bankers, clergy, teachers, and parents. Yeah, parents, because racism is not innate, it is learned. And racism becomes heart rot when people defend a system because it benefits them, when injustice feels normal, when silence protects comfort. Why do hiring managers still show bias towards certain names? Why does the wealth gap still reflect redlining patterns from the 1930s? And why do perception studies show black men are more likely to be seen as threatening? Because systems shape the heart, and the heart reinforces systems. Racism is dehumanizing. It's the decision or consciousness to rank human wealth. And once a society learns to rank human beings, it metastasizes into housing, education, courts, policing, and churches. And the most dangerous part, people infected by it often believe they're moral. When injustice lasts for centuries, it rewires survival. Generations grow up hypervigilant. Generations grow up locked out of opportunity. You don't erase that with one civil rights bill. Trauma doesn't disappear because policy language changes. Racism in America was built by white male power structures. That's documented. But it survives because human hearts accept it. And until hearts change, policies just rebrand. You don't cure heart rot by pretending it isn't there. You diagnose it, you confront it, and you cut it out. That's not hate, that's moral clarity. Racism isn't just policy, it's what happens when power rots the heart. And if you can look at documented history and still deny what was done, that's not ignorance, that's infection. You can't heal a nation that refuses to be diagnosed. The more you know.